everyone. Welcome to the ninth edition of Kala Se RUBARU, our initiative to celebrate arts and crafts. Designing has several offsets to it, and everyone aims to carve their own niche with their immense creativity. And today we have with us one such person who has carved her own niche in this whole world, her own niche with a lot of things, and came up with a novel idea of Sirohi sustainable living. So I'll welcome Ms. Gauri Agrawal to join us on Kala Se RUBARU.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, welcome to Kala Se RUBARU, Gauri.
Thank you so much.
So starting with our session, tell us about Sirohi and the products and services that you offer.
So Sirohi is essentially the first village I started working at. It's named after a small village in Faridabad. We started our work with lighting villages using solar power. And now we're working with the same women from these communities to empower them and using their existing craft skills of charpai weaving to make these beautiful products that we do. Our aim is to be India's first sustainable circular brand that is creating furniture made from recycled waste materials and to be synonymous with indoor sustainable living furniture. And this brand is backed by a very strong narrative of women empowerment and also the fact that we use only sustainable materials like waste plastic, waste textile, and natural fibers to make our products.
Okay, so what does the name Sirohi mean?
So Sirohi is essentially just the first village we started working at, right? And I don't know. I don't know the meaning of the name. I don't know what it stands for, but it's named after this beautiful Arcadian village, which is in the midst of the Aravalli Mountains, and it's got these artificial lakes. It's in Faridabad Mandal, so it's really beautiful, and we take cues from this village to define, what we're doing with our brand.
So you just mentioned the circular sustainability aspect. So what does that mean?
So what I mean by circular and sustainable is that we don't want to use any virgin materials to make our products. We use materials that are either biodegradable, like natural jute fibers, banana rope fibers to make our products. We're using the charpai form of weaving, which means we need ropes, right? And these ropes are all made from either jute, banana. And the reason why it's circular is, well, I would say circular. Circular, I think, is the wrong term to use here because we're taking waste, but it's still sort of made into furniture, which can be thrown away. So it does not sort of have a cycle as such. But yes, definitely sustainable because we're using all these waste materials and giving them sort of a new life. Yeah.
So Sirohi branched out from Skilled Samaritan Foundation. So what has been the journey to their inception?
So like I said, I'm originally an investment banker and I switched from banking to social entrepreneurship. So Skilled Samaritan was essentially an organization that was using existing skill sets to do some good. So that's what makes us Skilled Samaritan, right? And that's where the idea came from. The fact that we've been working since 2012 in all these amazing communities in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, we wanted to sort of use the existing craft to make the products that we do. And we wanted to separate, I think, creating a brand, Sirohi, from having a foundation, which is more on empowerment. So we're creating two separate entities. And, from a legal perspective, yes, and even from a brand perspective, Sirohi aims to be the brand, but Skilled Samaritan aims to be just the foundation that's, doing the impact part of the work. And unfortunately, in India, sometimes a lot of people sort of associate a foundation or a not-for-profit making handicraft, artisanal products, so they're not very expensive, they're not very nicely made. People sort of think that, handicraft hai, so I'll buy it because, a woman must have made it. So a lot of people sort of associate it with like buying because of sympathy. But the reason why we're creating a brand is to actually say that all our products are very carefully designed. They're beautifully designed. And to ensure that, people want them because they really like the product versus because they feel that, we should buy it because a woman has made it or it's sustainable. So the first thing that you want to see our product is you love it, and then there's a story that it has. So, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a really smart move. Yeah, we tend to do that. We tend to
yeah,
have the sympathy factor that's attached to
yeah.
it.
I always say this very
Okay.
interesting sort of story when you go to a bar, right? And you see a guy, since we're two girls talking, um,
Yeah.
and and you see a guy, you always notice how he's looking. Is he cute? Is he nice? And then you want to go talk to him. That's when you want to get to know his story, right? Similarly, for a product, when you see
Yeah.
a product that's attractive, that draws you towards the product, and then you want to know the story of, a woman has made it, it's sustainable, and then that's the value add.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's how we're sort of like, looking at Sirohi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned that you have a background in investment banking.
Yeah.
So what was your turning point? What led to the switch, and how much has it affected and influenced Sirohi?
How much has it?
Influenced Sirohi.
Um, so banking was in India, we lead a very sequential lifestyle. We are taught, especially as women, when we are from the 90s, right? As women, we're taught that,
Hmm.
you must go to school, you go to college, you get a good degree, you get married, you have kids, and that's the path that's set for you. And similarly, I did my
Yeah.
master's in finance and economics. So I was like, oh, I did my master's in finance and economics, so I must be a banker, and that's why I got into banking. But I think my personality is something else altogether. I'm like a big non-conformist. I won't say I'm a rebel, but I don't conform to things. And that's what banking was like, cabin suicide. It was like same cheese, haroj, like, I couldn't handle it. And that's when I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I can't do this. And that's when I sort of like quit and came up with the whole idea of Skill Samaritan and all of that. So yeah.
So that happened after quitting and not while working, right?
Yes, yes, it happened after quitting. Just to give you a bit of a background, that I've also gone to South America and I've worked there for 4 months in a very small village called Trujillo, which is
Okay.
it's a small city in Peru, you know. Um, and
Hmm.
because I worked there, I got a very strong understanding of development models, of working with people in slums, and that's where it really made me realize that how I can use my academic knowledge in something which is more experiential, something which is more into development. I had those thoughts in my head, but came back, and I think part of that experience gave me the courage to kind of start Skill Samaritan and quit banking.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
inspiring. That inspires
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So could you shed light on the materials Sirohi builds with, and how do you obtain and process them?
So, so we work with a lot of locally generated materials, essentially
Hmm.
natural fiber like jute, banana rope, whatever's locally available. Muzaffarnagar as a
Yeah.
place is very close to a lot of flexi packaging units. Flexi packaging units are these units that make waste plastic. They make
Hmm.
wrappers, your
Yeah.
wrappers for dairy milk, for your chocolates, your biscuit. Because there's so many of
Hmm.
these units, that are generating all this industrial waste. So just side ki trimmings hoti hai of the plastic waste. That is already sort of
Yeah.
available in the region, and India is the land of jugaad. People try to monetize things from anywhere and everywhere. So the people in UP,
Yeah.
the biggest banyas, obviously the business minds are like a lot like, quick. So they took all this waste plastic, long industrial waste plastic, and started converting it into ropes.
Hmm.
And then they started taking these
Okay.
ropes and selling it to people in villages to use as an alternative for your hanging your clothes, or for whatever alternative for ropes.
Hmm.
And we discovered this material and we were like, oh, this is waste plastic, which is being sold in the form of ropes. Why do we need to buy new material? Why don't we take all this waste and use this beautiful rope, which is the purple of dairy milk, the orange of kurkure, or whatever it is, and use that and make our products from that. And we do a very similar thing with textile units, where we take this textile waste and we actually have innovated and made a machine of our own to convert those selvages into
Oh.
ropes. And then we take those ropes to like make our products. So that's why you see our products are like super colorful and like very like they always
Yeah.
pop out, and they're different. Yeah.
So, what is the process from like an idea to the insert to finished product?
So we work very closely with design schools, And we work with like, so what we're doing is actually whoever's listening to us, we actually provide a platform to designers, product designers, furniture designers, to experiment and use their ideas and use our materials, our craft skills to make products that they do. So which means a lot of designers who are actually looking for a place to, create products versus just having a 3D drawing and putting it in their Behance profile, we tell them, work with us. Let's use your design sensibilities, use the skill set of our artisans and create all these beautiful products. So that's the idea of these product designers. We use the skill sets and the craft of the artisans, and that's how we come up with our products. So you will see that every month we always have like 5 to 7 designs because we have these amazing product designers working with us.
Oh, that's really helpful for them and you.
Yeah. So we're smart about it,
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So have you guys moved from those indigenous weaving techniques to something modern?
So that's what we're doing. We're using, so everyone knows what a charpai is. A charpai is, just used for the khatia that you've seen back in the day. Your parents have seen it, your grandparents have used it. So what we're doing is taking that weaving style and saying that, hey, this is essentially the warp and weft, what you're making your apparel with. It's just much thicker thread. Why don't use this weaving style to make baskets, trays, anything that can be woven? And so that's how we're sort of using a traditional craft and making it super contemporary to make products which like appeal to a modern user like yourself. So you want the product because you want it in your home. And then obviously, it reminds you of the weaving technique and there's a nostalgic element to it and things like that. Yeah.
The fact that you've contributed to something.
Yeah, absolutely. We're like, I'm like a big fan of the 90s. I love the 90s. I'm a very vintage person. So I love the fact that we can take like elements from the 90s, especially the charpai, which has been so close to our grandparents, because most of our grandparents, while we may be living in cities like Delhi, Bombay, but we all come from smaller towns, right? And all our parents, grandparents have seen the charpai. So we're taking that charpai and just, reviving old memories and bringing back, it's a circle of life. So yeah. So the charpai is fitting into that circle.
Yeah, like you said, circle.
Yeah.
So what are skill labs? What are those skill labs that are mentioned? And what do they constitute of and how do they function?
So, a lot of the women that we work with, these women do not have, they come from a lot of marginalized communities. They're not allowed to step outside their
skill labs. What are the skill labs and what do they
So a lot of the women that we work with cannot come to, a centralized location and work because they're not allowed to work. They come from very sort of conservative backgrounds. So what we try to do is create these affordable small hubs in the vicinity of, 5 to 6 villages, which is walking distance. And these hubs are low cost in the sense that they are just a design lab, a virtual design lab with a projector, a screen. It's a raw materials bank and it's like a fulfillment center. So women can come to this place, collect raw materials, weave it in their homes and drop it back for quality checks. And then this is where they're packaged, labeled and sent out. So that way we can cater to more women who'd like to work with us, because not every woman who is living in the range of our production center can actually come there, right?
Yeah.
So we want to cater to women who are, hello?
Yeah,
sorry.
Your screen is blacked out.
I'm so sorry, but I'm actually in a very low network area. I'm in Mussoorie, but
Okay.
As long as we can still have a chat, so I'm really apologizing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I wish I could get a candle or something, but yeah. Either way, I think let me try making do with. Yeah. Sorry.
So do you have to train your workforce about the craft, or is it like a local craft endemic to them?
So, we only work with women who want to work, who have a skill set, which essentially means that, these women already have the craft skill of charpai weaving. Secondly, they are women who want to work. So we're not upskilling anyone. We're not training anyone. So luckily, we already have skilled women who are, where this skill set is innate for them. It's just something that that's been passed down from generations, from their parents' time and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you eventually sell, and like where do you display your designs, and are you a part of exhibitions and everything?
Well, I think it's such a sort of random question because exhibitions now are all virtual. So we were doing a lot of exhibitions, a lot of trade shows back in the day, and we were participating in a lot of exhibitions. But now, we're creating a very strong online presence. We're trying to get into a very interesting B2B sort of platform where, a lot of people from two-tier cities like Hyderabad, Patiala, Chandigarh, Jaipur, there are lots of people from these cities who have beautiful home decor stores, and they're always looking for interesting products to stock in their stores, right? So we're trying to create a program where these people can buy from us in bulk at very good prices, and they can sell in their stores. We don't want to go the consignment way where we send products and on a consignment and things like that. We give you a much, much better deal of almost like 40 to 50% discount on our products if you buy from us in bulk. And then you can resell them as, Sirohi resellers. But that's from a B2B perspective. But from B2C, we're creating a very, very strong online presence. So you will see us, across the online spectrum on Jaipur, Okai, on Little Black Book, on Once Upon a Trunk, on our own website. So yeah, we're a bunch of very aggressive women who want to be all over the place and, very out there. Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
That's the only way to do it. You gotta be a hustler, Yeah.
Yeah. So what threat does a practice like yours face from the world in love with mass production and assembly lines?
Threat is a strong word because I personally feel that, we're all in a space where we want to make the world a better place. Sustainability is a term that's being used around very loosely. Everyone wants to be sustainable. Everyone wants to be organic. But so I don't say it's a threat, but what I'll say is that we're trying to create a world where people slow down. We create products where people have that one cozy, comfortable corner in their home and they can place our products and feel like this is their happy place. So in no way do we want to represent that, someone is a threat to us or we're a threat to someone. Not at all. It needs to be a collaborative world, and our aim is to create beautiful products that make you want to slow down, think of a life which is easy, happy, and that's the place we want to take you to. So no threats there.
Okay. So do you believe in collaboration and customization, or do you, according to clients' demands, Absolutely. Or do you strictly sell from a catalog?
No, you know what? As a startup, I think you need to be all over the place. You need to be out there. And some of our best designs actually come from our customers. So we customize, and there are customers who have brilliant ideas who might not be designers. Somebody like yourself says, I want this chair. You have something in your head. We connect you with our designer, and we can actually work with you to sort of convert your idea into an actual product. So yes, we absolutely do customize.
Okay, so how do you price your products, and how much of it benefits the women?
So our products are, firstly, they're slightly bulky, they're slightly bigger. So the products are priced at, a range between, I would say, like 1,000 to like even 20,000 rupees, depending on how big the furniture is. Around 30% of our product price goes to the women for the weaving. We provide them with the raw materials. Around 20% goes to like the frames, the welders and the carpenters that make the frames for our products. And, and the rest of the stuff is GST, shipping, like it's not cheap, to pay for all of these things, especially bulky furniture. So yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what kind of, everyone has this period of struggle when building their own firm. So what was yours like, and what was the milestone? What do you call a milestone in your journey?
A milestone. I think a milestone in our journey would be where most households consider Sirohi to be a brand where they go for comfort, happy living. How you have soul food. We want to be that brand. And I think if I can get to a place where people buy from us and it makes them happy, it gives them sort of a warm, happy feeling. I think that would be a milestone for me. when I started lighting villages, I have this really sweet story of this one woman. We lit around 300 homes in village Sirohi in 2013, and using solar lighting. And and I was in my home, at 10 p.m. at night. One of the oldest women from the village, she called me, and she's like, and they used to call me Gori because they couldn't say Gauri. So she was like,
Oh.
yeah, and she was just like, हमारे पूरे गांव के, around there are no lights, लेकिन तुम्हारी वजह से हमारा पूरा गांव चमचमा गया है, and we're the only village that's lit. And to me, I think that feeling, of empowering someone else is the most empowering feeling, and I think that's what's a milestone for me. And if I can sort of create jobs for women, I'm getting goosies, for women who have never worked before. And this has been a personal frustration of mine. My mother used to emotionally, financially depend on my father, and it would anger me. It would really frustrate me. I was just like, yeah, you're so skilled. You're amazing at, you cook so well. So why is it that you have to be dependent on someone else? And it's that feeling of frustration that led me to create Sirohi, Skilled Samaritan. So if I can empower women and they can say, आज मैंने अपने husband के लिए phone खरीदा, or they can feel empowered, I think that to me is like celebrating like a real milestone.
Oh, that is that's a really motivating thing, and that's genuinely how it should be.
I think
everyone has to take their own reins on
absolutely.
among them.
We're not, I say it very clearly, we're not about the sob stories, we're about the boss ones. We work with women who want to break barriers. We work with women who want to go out there and celebrate, the fact that they too want to lead a life of dignity and respect. And these are the women that we work with. So yeah, I think, the celebration is from within, empowerment is from within, and the feeling of somebody else feeling empowered, there's nothing like it. It's so addictive, I can't tell you. Yeah.
So what has been your biggest challenge to date?
Challenge? Oh God, I actually love challenges. So my biggest challenge to date, I don't know. I guess I haven't faced that big a challenge to really think of it like that and say that, oh, that's my challenge. But no, I can't think of something right now. Yeah, I don't know if I have a challenge.
What has been the biggest impact of your work?
I think the biggest impact on whom? On myself?
Or it could be anything.
I think the biggest impact of our work has been the fact that we can create these beautiful products for buyers. People love what we do, and I can, and especially when some people send us like little photos of the products that they've bought from us. And they say, I love my Skilled Samaritan product and like my beauty is here. I think that's creating impact in someone's life. Somebody celebrated what we do today. If a new woman comes to us, saying that mujhe bhi kaam karna hai, I also want to work. That's impactful for me. So yeah, I think from a buyer perspective, from a demand perspective, that's impact. From a supply perspective, getting more women to work with us, that's impact. So yeah.
Wow.
I think
so what is Skilled Samaritan Foundation? Yeah? You said something? I mean, I didn't catch what you said earlier.
I just said you got to celebrate mini successes.
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah. You got to pack...
I think
women tend to undermine themselves, and, because our expectations of ourselves are so high that we're not able to get to a point where we celebrate the little things. We're always waiting for that one big thing to celebrate that. So if we can celebrate winning mini successes, pat ourselves on the back for every little thing, I think we're celebrating every day. So just wanted to put that out there. Yeah,
that's true. Like the belly in a comment says, you guys are amazing.
I know. Thank you.
So what is Skilled Samaritan Foundation working on right now?
So, we're working on raising a lot of money so we can scale. We're looking at doing a fundraise right now. We're looking at our plan for next year is to launch Sirohi. So in the next few months, you're going to see a very beautiful new website that stands for Sustainable Indoor Living. And we're going to market it like crazy, so every household knows what we're all about. So that's what we're working on right now, to set up Sirohi and be that brand for indoor sustainable living and happy furniture.
What would you like to say to the future change makers out there?
Future change makers. Well, if you've decided to make change, make sure you do it. Don't give up. Be persistent. Whatever everyone wants to bring about, different kinds of change in their life, whether it is being able to sleep on time, whether it's waking up at 6 a.m., whether it's making the next $1 billion company. Everyone's term of definition of change is very different. So if you've decided that you want to bring about that change, make sure you get up and do it. Be persistent. Don't stop.
Okay, that's pretty impactful.
Yeah.
So on this note, I'd like to thank you for coming here and telling us about your niche. It was very important. This conversation was a very enlightening one for me, and I'm pretty sure for everyone listening to us right now and who will listen to us.
Yeah.
So thank you for shedding light on this.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love talking to people, meeting new people, and the fact that we can do it on a virtual platform and get more people involved. Nothing like it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it too.
Okay. Thank you. I'll just end this right now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.
And have a good weekend, everyone.